welcome to the Unspoken Truth. I am your girl, Jay Black with Jay Black and Co. And my co host, the one, the only, Mrs. Kina B.
First of all, oh my gosh, that is funny. Hey, hey.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so again, welcome to the Unspoken Truth. Here we're going to give you an inside look at building and developing and scaling a sustainable coaching business. Kina and I are going to provide some real solutions. We're going to talk about some real stuff, give you real strategy, support, and resources to help you build your business the right way. I cannot stress that enough. The right way. Is there a right way to build your business? Yes. So, of course, we're going to give you the real. We're going to always come to you unfiltered and always with the truth. So, we had a topic planned today, and some stuff has happened in the culture. I'm gonna put that in the culture.
Culture, yes.
Um, that I was like, okay, we got to talk about it. We got to talk about it. So, what has been happening in the culture? And so, I'm just going to let you know that this is when it comes to you actually stepping up as the CEO of your business and mindset, organization, and all the stuff that's all Kina B. We're going to call that segment Run Your Biz. Why? Because she helps you do that. Run your biz from that standpoint. So, this is part one of the Run Your Biz series in this podcast. So, what had happened? If you are not aware, okay, so I'm going to explain some things, and y'all, please just go with me on this. Please just go with me because I have to set the stage. I have to
hmm
set the stage. Okay,
hmm She had to
so
set it for me first because I was like, "What? What?" But yes, so yes,
yes,
you have to
and
set the stage.
some of this stuff, she's gonna be reacting to live because I was like, okay, let me do the Cliff Notes, and if you are old enough to know what Cliff Notes are,
Woo!
that was the synopsis, the summary of books prior to the internet.
Yes. Is Clip
Okay,
Notes still a thing? It's
you know what? I've been out of school for a minute,
I
so
listen.
I haven't needed Cliff Notes.
Yeah, I'm like, listen, and since then, like you said, between Google, Chat GPT,
Right.
GPT, and whatever, Cliff Notes is obsolete. But anyway,
Right, we got AI to do to do a summary of stuff. We got people to do the work for us. But I digress. So there is a radio station, and I can't even say that it's an urban radio station anymore because its impact on not only urban culture but culture in general, because it is a pop-in radio station and it's the Breakfast Club, and I think it's 101.5. If you want to figure out who they are and who are the people that I'm going to be talking about, you can go on YouTube, type in the Breakfast Club, not the movie,
yes,
but the radio station. I think it's 101.5, and you can look at their interviews, see who I'm talking about. They interview everyone from entertainers, so singers, actors, writers, to politics, to politicians, to people in the news. Any and everybody can come and be interviewed, and they're syndicated, they're popping, they're the real deal. So it's not like a cute little regional radio station. Um, so anyway, so previously there were three hosts. There's DJ Envy, this guy named Charlemagne, and then and DJ Envy is the DJ, duh. Um, but the other co-host is Charlemagne, and then there used to be a lady named Angela Yee. Angela Yee decided to leave. She has her reasons. I'm not going to go into that because there's a lot of speculations why she left. It could play a factor into what I'm talking about, but that's neither here nor there because we're not talking about her. We're talking about the one who replaced her, which is a comedian, and her name is Jess Hilarious. She's not my type of comedian, but that's not the point.
Mm-mm. And I don't
But
know her, so.
right, she's just not my cup of tea. But at any rate, she's a comedian. So after this long, grueling process of interviewing different ones, she becomes the third co-host. So she, right after she signs her deal, the ink hasn't even dried yet. By her own admission, she gets pregnant intentionally. I don't know why you would want to get pregnant right when you started a job, um, but she did. Again, intentionally. So after some months, of course, she goes on maternity leave. And in preparation for her maternity leave, she gets another lady in, and don't have me lying about what her name is. And I can look it up real quick. But she gets this young lady to replace her.
Fill
And
in, fill in, right?
right,
Not
right,
replace.
right, not
Fill in.
replace. I'm sorry. Yes,
Okay.
to fill
Okay.
in.
Okay.
Okay, her name is duh, 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 duh. Lauren LaRosa.
Okay.
So, um, Lauren comes in and fill-ins for her while she's on maternity leave, and she does a good job. She has a background in journalism. She has great questions, great interviews. Everyone at first they didn't like her because they like Jess, but now they're growing. She's growing on them. Everything is beautiful, right? People have questions about Jess, but it's neither here nor there. So also, because and I'm not being shady. I am not being shady because Jess brings it up herself. Jess has a little problem with reading what's on the page. It's public school education,
Woo.
and I'm not saying anything because I don't do this.
Well,
Don't do this because I had public school education, and me and my best friend we have this joke that we can't. We don't ask us that to multiply, add, divide, do algebra, calculus, nothing like that. Even though I took AP classes, I don't know how I did it because the public school system just failed us. But anyway, so that's just a little joke. But anyway, so she admits it, and that's her joke about herself, and she brings it up in this situation. So Lauren, with her journalism background, she reads good. She can give the news good. Everything. So now Jess comes back from her maternity leave, and now everything is kind of off because she had a segment called Jess with the Mess where she would, like dish all the hottest gossip, rumors, all that other stuff about different celebrities and whatnot. And Lauren has her own version of it, and it's a little bit more buttoned up, less messy. So now, whenever Jess comes back, it's like, okay, are you doing it or am I doing it? And then instead of like Okay, now I'm back. You can go. Lauren is still sitting there. So where it was like, okay, you were just supposed to be filling in. Now it's four. Oh, okay. So what this mean? This is what Jess is thinking.
Mhm.
And um, so a whole bunch of stuff happens because things are not clear. Jess is feeling away. She don't like Lauren. She's giving her the cold shoulder, giving her much attitude and things like that. Lauren is like, because she's also has a producer hat on and everything, she's like, well, what's going, how can I make this better? How can I make the show better? How can I make you comfortable? What do I need to do? Blah, 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 blah. So everybody is not on the same page. However, DJ Envy, Charlemagne, cool. They don't think anything is wrong. They going with the flow.
Do they even see that there's an issue?
I don't know.
Okay.
They're like, and Jess says, okay, I have these grievances and I've talked to you guys. I've brought it up in meetings and so on and so forth, and nothing is being done.
Hmm.
So, longer story shorter, a couple of days ago, Jess goes live on Instagram and blasts everyone. She lays all her grievances out to the world. She cussing them out, y'all this, y'all that. You run the radio station um, like high schoolers. Um, it's cliquish, it's this, it's that. Y'all don't take up for
Mm.
me. Y'all don't do this and da 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 da. And people in the comments and people doing this and people blah 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 da 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 da. And so she just lays it all out there. Come back to work the next day and they're like, since you aired this live, we're gonna talk about it live.
Wow.
So you can go on YouTube and see all of what I'm talking about. You can see her rant from the day before. You can see how them hashing it out and everything. And what I'll do, I'll go ahead and link it down below so you can click on it, watch that on YouTube. But at any rate, they're saying doing all this stuff. And here's the thing. So Jess is confused and she doesn't know what's going on. People who are listening to the show don't know what's going on and they're
Mm.
posting things like Lauren is trying to replace you. What's going on? Okay, is it four hosts
Mm.
now? And she's like, well, I don't know. I ain't got nothing to tell. I don't know. So she's telling them like there needs to be clarity.
Mhm.
Communicate with me. Let me know if it's going to be four hosts. Okay, cool. You should have told me that from the beginning. If you're looking
Mhm.
to replace me, if I'm not doing a good job, if I'm not here enough, if I'm missing too much work, because she's also taking up shows, which takes her away from the job that she just got to. Because remember, she just got the job,
Hmm.
purposefully got pregnant, went on maternity leave, and she's taking jobs because she's a comedian. You see how all of this is coming together?
Mhm. Mhm.
She's taking a job and she's not happy there at this job, so she's taking even more shows. So it's pulling her away from her job. So she's like, so if you're looking to replace me, just say the word. Just let me know.
Mhm.
And then
Mhm.
and Lauren is sitting up there like, oh, she hates me. Why she hates me? I'm not trying to take your job. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on. So, and then Tweedledee and Tweedledum, which is
Charlemagne and DJ Envy.
exactly, they're like, there's a problem. Well, why didn't you call
Oblivious.
me?
Oblivious.
You could have pulled me to the side. You could have said something in the meetings. And she's like, I did. I did. And they're like, well, don't pay attention to what people say online. And she's like, you're telling me to not pay attention to what people say online, but what if what people are saying is how I'm feeling? I feel the way they feel,
Mhm. Mhm.
and they're not getting it. They said it. Let's see, one clip is 9 minutes and 35 seconds. Another clip I know is 8 minutes and something, about them going back and forth about this situation. And the guys are still, don't pay attention to what social media is saying. And she's like, it's not about that, because while social media was, or commenters were suspecting stuff and throwing out rumors, her thing is, why didn't you go down there and protect me and
Mm.
say, no, this is not what's going to happen. Nobody's looking to replace her. Nothing. Y'all stayed silent.
Mhm.
That's not
Mhm.
cool.
Mhm.
Um, and they're like, don't pay attention to that. That just, people gonna talk. People always going after me and Charlamagne. Da, 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 da. And that's not what she's saying. So they decided to call a truce to move on in the show. It's not that Charlemagne and Envy understood her point of view. It's not that things were resolved and Jess, who had the grievance, felt better. You can tell by the end of it, she looks so deflated. She looks so exhausted by the whole situation, because here it is, it's 17, 18 minutes of a conversation, and we're talking round and round in circles and you're not getting
Mhm.
it.
Mhm. Mhm.
And and at the in one of the segments, Lauren comes in and is a part of the conversation, and what it is that Lauren is in the blind as well. So is Jess. So Jess figures out, okay, so I can't be mad at her. She's not trying to go after my job. This is not some female vendetta, jealousy, whatever, whatever. This is people not knowing how to run their business.
Mhm.
Haha. So do you see how that connects to run your biz? The point is, and how does this apply to your coaching business? You have a business. There are
Mm.
some things that are specific to coaches. There are some things that are specific to virtual businesses versus brick and mortar businesses.
Mhm.
There are some things that um, are specific to um, coaches who do one to many or one on one
Mhm.
whenever it comes to running your business. And then some things are just business.
Mhm.
I don't care what kind of business you have. I don't care if it's brick and mortar. I don't care if it's on the moon. I don't care if you do it in another galaxy far, far away. It don't matter. A business is a business. And whenever you have a team working for you, number one, you need to provide a safe space for them to be heard. If you
Mhm.
don't understand, then look for other ways to try to understand them. And if you're a part of the team, look for other ways to try to communicate how you're feeling or what the grievance is. If you see that they're not getting it and you going round and round, don't give up and be like, well, I give in. I'm just tired of talking about it, because that's not going to help anything, because all it's going to do is just build,
Yep.
and it's going to affect other people on the team.
Yep.
So you find another way. Do a metaphor, draw, uh, write it out, put it in the email, act it out,
I was about to
something.
say act it out.
Do some, learn sign language if you have to. Do something so that your your client understands what your grievance is, and you don't give up and just like brush them off, that whatever is bothering them is just some little thing. For most
Mhm.
people, by the time they have the courage to come to you to tell you that there is an issue, it's more than just a little something.
Yep. Yep. They done pondered. They done
Exactly. They done talk, trust
tossed
and
and
believe.
turned.
They done talked about it. They
Tossed
done
and
talked about
turned. They done lost some sleep. They done. It's been a lot of things happening.
it.
Yes.
Exactly. Exactly. Don't let them feel like the last recourse is for them to go
Lie.
some right. Cause that ain't. Of course, it's not a good look for them, but it's not a good look for you either.
Nope. Nope.
Because trust and believe, the internet is big,
Mhm. But it's small.
but it's small. And you think, oh, she just got 125 followers. Who's gonna know? Oh, but who are those 125 people?
Yeah. Who does she actually know?
Exactly. Because those 125 people may have a following of 15,000 or
Right.
1.2 million,
Right.
and they can pick up on whatever her story is, and then okay, let's share it, let's talk about
Mhm.
it like we're doing here. Now, I'm not
Mhm.
saying that I got a following like, the Breakfast Club, but still, you get the point.
Mhm. Yep.
So you can't, when it comes to hearing your team out, if you are going to have a business, you need to provide a safe space for them to articulate what their grievance is and don't brush it off. The next thing is, and I'm going to shut up so you can talk, so you can add your piece to
Mm-mm.
it. The
Mm-mm.
second
Like
thing,
mm-mm. Mhm.
the second thing is organization.
Hmm.
No, and it's not like you having a place for this piece of paper and you have this place for that. And it's not even about procedures from what I'm talking about, because this could be that could be a part of the conversation as well. But what I'm saying is, when I'm talking about organization, know the positions in your business.
Mhm. Roles.
Who
Yep.
does what?
Mhm.
If you have if you have a graphic designer, then why is your graphic designer coming up with social media content?
The words.
Right. I mean, their purpose is to create graphics, to design graphics.
Mhm.
That is what a graphic designer is for.
Yep. Yep.
Your virtual assistant, yeah, they can be your right hand, but unless you specifically hired a social media assistant, or in their package it's social media management or something like that, unless it's clearly defined in your agreement, they understand what they're offering, what the services that they're providing, and you understand what's all involved in that. That's why with my agreements, with my contracts, with my quotes, I this is what you getting.
Mhm.
I'm not just gonna do a whole um you get 100. I'm trying to think when I had a package. 100 hours of blah 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 blah, or you get 3 posts a week, or no. This is detailed what you get from me. So whenever I say, I don't do that, you can't come back to me and be like, I thought in this we were doing this, or that
Mhm.
you were doing this, or that you covered that. Mm-mm, mm-mm.
Hmm.
Unless we're going to do an amendment to that
Mhm.
agreement.
Which is an option.
So I mean, it needs to be clear w- what the roles are in your business. You need to be clear whenever you're going out and you're looking for an OBM, online business manager, a social media marketer, manager, OBM, a strategist, whatever it is that you're going to look to hire to be a part of your team. You need to be crystal clear what you're getting because they need to be crystal clear about what they're providing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and that's how it needs, that's what I mean by organization. And now I am going to loop in processes. If you're going to have, if this person has to leave for whatever reason. So let's say they got sick, they got pregnant, family member died, um, anything. They're relocating, they're moving to another country, whatever, and they have to take some time away, and you're like, okay, I need to, not replace. What did you tell
Fill
me?
in.
I need a fill in. I need to hire someone to fill in. Let them know what the process is.
Hmm.
I'm gonna need you to train this other person, or there needs to be a lap so that this person can be introduced to my clients or to other team members or whatever the case is. There needs to be a phase in and a phase out process.
Mm-hmm.
Um, this person is going to only be here for a certain amount of time. Whenever you come back, this is what that looks like. Um, you need to think about those things instead of just dropping people in and out. This is not checkers. You can't just be doing people any kind of way because these are people with businesses, these are people with feelings.
Mm-hmm.
And you need to be the business owner that is not self centered, that is not, um, you want to be the business owner that is empathetic. You
Mm-hmm.
want to be the business owner that's thoughtful. That's the type of name you want in these streets, in the service provider streets, because no, trust and know this, your whoever you hire, they have other clients, and those other
Mm-hmm.
clients may be connected,
Mm-hmm.
and they know other people, and they can say, hey, this person is a great person to work with. I have access to these other platforms. This person has a wonderful demeanor. They will be a
Mm-hmm.
great asset to whatever. Remember, this is your team and they're trying to help you grow your business.
Mm-hmm.
They're
Mm-hmm.
helping you scale your business. If you want to get to the point where you can take time off to be with your family, to go to Bali, to go to Tahiti, to go on a safari and take a month off and all that other jazz that these other coaches and these top tier are doing, then you need someone that's going to take care of your business. And the people that you want to take care of your business are satisfied service providers
Mm-hmm.
that you can trust and that
Mm-hmm.
trust you.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not showing yourself to be trustworthy, you're going to find yourself continuously looking for the right business owners, the right team members, the right, I can never find the right what is it? Why? Cuz nobody like working with you.
No, not at all. And as you said, yes, you're connected with through other clients, but you're on other teams. You know people like over the years, we get to know other people.
Mhm.
And those good whatever role, whatever title they have, they tend to be the same people that are referred over and over again. So guess what? As the business owner, if you have issues with your team, that is spreading. You may not
Mm-hmm.
know it, you may not realize it, but you're being talked about and not in a good light. Um,
Exactly.
I think what was it last year? Maybe oh, it was. I want to say yeah, last year there was a there was a whole I don't know exodus. Um, there was a whole group of people who started to expose some of
Oh.
these coaches and how they were treating their teams, almost like Ellen DeGeneres,
Mm-hmm.
almost like Ellen, and it's true. It was true. Like some of the people that were exposed, I was like, yeah, I
Mm-hmm.
knew that, which is one of the reasons why I started to offer um, like recommendations for not only team members but for coaches. So in other words, somebody would say, "I'm looking for a blah 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 coach." I'm like, "Up, don't work with her."
Mm-hmm.
Why? Because what you're going to learn and what you're going to learn from her is not necessarily part of your values. So I know you see all this glitz and glam, but based on what I know about you, you're not going to it's not going to last, and you're going to get mad because of how that person truly is. And you don't find that out until you start paying the money. But Jay, let me
Mm-hmm.
say this.
Mm-hmm.
There's a fine line because you mentioned at the beginning that uh what's her name? Jess Hilarious
Mm-hmm.
intentionally got pregnant. And I think I asked you, like, did she know that she was going to do this? And there's a part that you have to be careful as a business owner. You got to be careful because you can't necessarily discriminate,
Mm-hmm.
against a person that is thinking about getting pregnant. But I asked that because most of the time, when coaches are hiring people, they're not thinking of anything other than can they do the job? Can they do the role? Can
Right.
they handle, you know, this thing and that thing? And like they're answering or asking all of those questions. But the thing that's often missed is the personal side of that team member. Because
Mm-hmm.
if you just think about the essence of a coaching business, you need to know what's going you want to know what's going on with your team.
Mm-hmm.
And I hesitated saying need because do you need to know everything? No. I mean, you don't. But I say want because that's going to help you with the empathy. That's going to help you to avoid the catastrophes like what Jay described.
Mm-hmm.
Because if I knew, if I'm having a conversation with her, and again, it wouldn't have affected whether or not I hired her, but if I knew that she was going, as the business owner, that she was going to get pregnant, we need to start preparing for that now.
Mm-hmm.
Like we there's no delay. We can't wait. We need to understand, how long you're going to be out, who's going to fill in, what are they filling them in on? Is she bringing in her own segments? Like how's all this going to go? And to your point too, training them. So for some odd reason, I'm scratching my head because I'm like, so what happens even if it's just a fill in? What happens with the or in the space of them getting trained to do their job? I've seen too many times where situation like this, a person needs to be out,
Mm-hmm.
and it's Thursday, and oh my gosh, it's Thursday, and they need somebody to start Monday. Like literally interviewed, hired, starting on 4 days, 5 days from now, and expecting for it to be a success.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's not going to be. And so the I think the main thing one of the main things that you can pull out of this is your ability to communicate
Right.
with your team. um, Ask the hard questions, have the desire to want to get to know them, to know what's going on with them. No, you don't have to know all the things, but you at least want to be able to have a point of reference that if whatever's happening with your team is going to impact your business, that you're starting to prepare for those things.
Right.
The the other thing that I was like, when you said they called a truce, I can't stand when people do that. You know why? And truces are good for a lot of reasons. Like we're not going to ever come to an agreement. We just need to admit or agree that we're not going to agree. Period. But when it comes to something like this, and there's no truce. We need to figure this out. We
Eh,
need to figure this out.
Thank you. Thank you.
Like the energy. I mean, how long do you think this is going to go on before someone explodes and it becomes more than we're going to discuss this on the live radio?
Exactly. I
So I wrote the word truth because I'm like, no, no, there's no truth here. We need to figure this out.
to me it's again, you just gave in. You just gave in and
Yes. Yep. Yep.
nothing was resolved. But
Yep.
I'm going to go, okay, I have a personal example experience about pregnancy. Now, I don't have any kids. I got tons of nieces and nephews, but I don't have any kids. And that's another conversation, another platform, another day. But um and I say that because it has nothing to do with, oh well, you got kids, you don't have kids, you don't know. It has nothing to do with that.
Mm-mm.
But I have a client. I had a client. And the client was like, okay, we're at that point where we need a digital marketer. Jay, can you do some interviews? Find a digital marketer, right? So I go cast the net, do the interviews, and I have, my final picks, present them. So we have one young lady. So everything's good. Everything's like checking off. Oh, okay, great. And she's an agency owner. Bing, bing, bing. So that means that, and the reason why that was a bonus is because in house, she could do so many things. So my client didn't have to piecemeal her team together. You could have
Mm-hmm.
one person who could do everything in there, like social media marketing, ads, email marketing, all this other stuff dealing with marketing. You could do it right here. So, and I wasn't able to take that on for those on my team to be able to do all the things. So, we have this young lady, so hire her. She does the strategy, all this other stuff. Everything's good. And 1 month, okay, and she had a 3 month retainer, 3 month retainer. And her package was a little bit outside of my client's price range, but it was a lot of bonuses that made that stretch reasonable.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So we went ahead with her. So 1 month in this 3 month retainer, she says, oh, I'm pregnant. Oh, great. Yay. All right. So when you do, okay, I'm going on maternity leave next month. So
Wait a minute.
now okay, and if you don't have a team member on your team, let me explain to you how it works. You think stuff is going to hit the ground running and a whole bunch of stuff is going to happen in that first month. It's not. You have to be onboarded. They have to understand your culture. They have to understand your brand. They have to understand your audience. They have to put stuff together. They have to come up with different content. that first month is a wash. Just be
Mm-hmm.
prepared.
Yep.
That first month, you not getting nothing. Um, because they're having to, in order to do their job properly, they have to get integrated into your business, into your audience, to really nail that down.
Yep.
Okay, so I would say that first 3 weeks, pushing that 4, don't expect anything.
The only caveat I would say, that could be shortened if you have your stuff together. If you
Yes.
do not, then
Mm-hmm.
expect that, because along with the list of things that Jay said that the person's figuring out, they're also trying to find where the bodies are buried, because I
Mm-hmm.
can almost guarantee that you got 99 of the same platforms. You got stuff stored in Dropbox and Google Drive and on your desktop and on your blah, blah, blah. And you're still trying to figure out what you're actually doing.
Right.
So,
Eh, mm-hmm. And if you don't know the different phases, see if what did I say at the beginning? We want you to build your business the right way. If you stick to the phases of your business and don't try and jump everywhere, then you would have your stuff together
mm-hmm.
and that onboarding would be shortened. But if you're, trying to put carts before horses and, you know, all that other stuff, you trying to fly before you can sit up.
Build a plane as you're flying. Oh my gosh. But
Yes.
yes, that part.
So if
Mm-hmm.
you're trying to do all of that, then it's going to take you longer to get your stuff together. But so here, we that first month she comes with this new strategy, so we're trying to get things together,
Mm-hmm.
right? So we have no choice. She has an assistant. Her thing is everything will be done. Have an assistant. We were introduced to the assistant. Nothing against the assistant per se. Okay. Okay, even on Bed West, well, the contract with the retainer would have spelled out illness for me. Oh my goodness. Yes. Yes. I cannot agree more. That contract needs to spell it out. I
Mm.
cannot, yes, I cannot agree with you more. Um so we're sitting there and I'm thinking, okay, fine. If you have your stuff together, and your assistant knows what's going on, then okay,
We good.
we good,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm. You wasn't good.
I had to amend my agreement 3 times just to cover my client. While
For
this,
what that person was at.
just to cover my client, the assistant, no shade to her, she was doing what she could do, the best that she could do.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But that business owner did not have her stuff in place before she went on maternity leave. She didn't have all her ducks in a row. She didn't have all her surfaces, cleaned before she went on maternity leave. So now the assistant is drowning.
Mm.
And I don't want to see my client suffer and I don't want to see that assistant drown. I'm not
Mm-hmm.
going to sit back and be like, well, I ain't getting paid to do it. It ain't my business.
Ain't my fault.
Right.
That ain't my,
So
that ain't my
that
role. My
ain't my fault.
responsibility.
Did I do that?
Yes,
Okay,
you
so
did do it.
right. So I had to amend my agreement 3 times while she was on maternity leave. And then whenever she came back, again, no shade, no judgment. But it was okay. So she comes back from maternity leave and she's like, okay, the baby wakes up and so now she needs to be fed. So now we need to close the thing down. Or we need to, okay, I need to put this meeting on pause because I have to go breastfeed. Well, oh, okay.
Mm.
Um, this I know where. Oh. And according to her strategy, we were going to go head into a launch. So we were pre-launching.
During this 3-month contract with her.
Right. So towards the end, we were going to go into launching, and the whole point was, okay, so everything works out. Continue to work with her. She can go um, through the launch and into maintenance after the launch, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
Because after the launch, everything would be basically maintenance of the platforms and everything. So it'll be like a little bit easy when it comes to marketing, right?
Mhm.
So during a pre-launch, during a launch, timelines, deadlines are missed. It was such a catastrophe.
Catastrophe. Yes. I can almost imagine.
I have PTSD from it. You know, okay, I better shut up because people who really have PTSD. But my thing is, it's like, I just, and then my client was stressed out because of it. Now, again, it has nothing to do with pregnancy. It has nothing to do with maternity leave or having kids or anything like that. But life happens.
Mhm. Mhm.
Life happens. And as a business owner,
Mm.
on both sides, as the business owner, as a coach who's hiring the team, you need to be prepared for when life happens.
Yep. Yep.
As the service provider, you need to be prepared for when life happens.
Mhm. Yep.
You need to have your procedures in place. You need to know what bases there are that you need to have covered, and you need to communicate. Don't sit up there and wait to hire someone and then tell them, "Oh, I'm going on a cruise and I'll be away for 3 weeks or 2 weeks," or
Mm.
"Oh, I hired you, but I have a retreat and I'm going to be gone for the next 2 weeks. Um, I have surgery happening in a month, so I'm not going to be able to do this and that and the other." You can't wait for the last minute and then be like, "Oh, by the way, I don't know when by the way was a good thing. When did that turn out to be a good thing? Oh, by the way, I've never heard, oh, by the way, I'm going to give you some extra money. Oh, by the way,
Hmm.
you get 5 more hours of sleep. Oh,
Yes.
by the way, by the way has never been a good thing. So
At all.
don't do that. As a business owner, if you're going to run your if you're going to have a business, run it like a business, run
Yes.
it like a CEO. Um, so the baby's booty says, life happens, but we have accountability to clients. Serve or refund, period.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yep. Period.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah,
ma'am.
yeah, refunds are a thing. I mean, let me just say that.
Especially, mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
Mhm. Yep,
mm-hmm.
especially when it's on you.
Exactly.
This was good,
So,
Jay.
so I know, I ran my mouth the most of it. So sorry, because it was supposed to be running a business. I was supposed to turn it over to Keena. But guess what? So can you tell that I had some feelings about this?
Oh yeah, yeah. And I did. Yes, and I respect, as I always say, I respect when you have slid over to the coaching. Like this is not cool. This ain't cool. We need to talk about this today. Today is what she is basically what Jay said. Like,
Yeah, I
no, we're
did.
not talking about this today. We're talking about this,
I sure did. I sure
and
did.
I'm here for
I sure did. I was like, I know this is on schedule, but
it.
I got some thoughts, some things I need to get up off my chest. So, anyway, so thank you everyone for joining us. If you're watching us live, thank you so much for joining us. I hope you enjoyed this episode of The Unspoken Truth. If you are watching the replay or if you're watching this at another future time, thank you so much for doing so. We have new episodes that airs every we are live rather every Thursday at 12 p.m. Eastern. And so if you want to show up live and put stuff in the comments and
Ask us
we may
questions.
ask us
Yes.
questions, you might even be brought on stage.
Yes.
Mm. So
Yes.
so if you want to catch us live, then yeah, you should tune in live Thursdays at 12 p.m. Eastern. So anything else you want to say, Kina, before
Um, Join us next week. We'll be what's our topic next week, Jay?
next
Or
week?
next episode. I'm gonna stop. We need to stop saying next week because yeah,
Right.
we're doing 99 things.
Okay, so the next episode is going to be the importance and marriage between strategy and actions. Mhm. Mhm.
Jay's lane. Well, it's both of our lanes, but
Yeah.
yes.
Exactly. I'm gonna be running my mouth again. Okay. All right, y'all. Thank you so much for joining us live and then watching the replay. I am your girl, Jay Black. This is Mrs. Keena B, and this is The Unspoken Truth. Thank you for joining us. You could have been doing anything in the world, but you chose to spend this time with us, and we are thankful. Until next time, y'all. Bye.